Great to see you here, Will, so regrettably, but we're still here, yes. And we still are here, yes. Woo!
So the ceasefire!
Ceasefire now, right, yes. Ceasefire now, exactly, right. The word anti-Semitism is being used constantly to deceive us, to obscure the fact that what is going on continues in Gaza, the genocide that the political parties and the leaders of the world are doing nothing about. Anti-Semitism is their mantra. This week, we know that Justin Trudeau, Prime Minister of Canada, allegedly, appointed the second special anti-Semitism envoy. As if the first one, Deborah Lyons, the former Canadian ambassador in Tel Aviv, a total Zionist, wasn't enough. Now he's appointed a second one, which is Anthony Housefather, who is the most Zionist member of Parliament in the House of Commons. Right, we didn't need the first one, we certainly didn't need the second. Anti-Semitism is constantly paraded, and we saw it with the city council, Councillor Mark Gardner's resolution of a week and a half ago that claimed that there is anti-Semitism rife through Victoria, through the streets of Victoria. And praise to all of us, because we answered her. We had demonstrations. We submitted letters and emails and communications of all kinds that caused council to at least say, this is spurious, and to turn that into nothing. What we saw last week when our great friend Bruce came before us is that, in fact, what is claimed to be anti-Semitism is actually attacks on pro-Palestinian supporters like Bruce.
Yes! Right!
We have to acknowledge, though, that there is anti-Semitism in the world. And as an historian, I've had the opportunity to see a few examples of anti-Semitism. And probably the most anti-Semitic behind-the-scenes manipulators are actually Zionists. Yeah, that's right, Zionists. For Zionists, individual Jews are entirely expedient. They are of no consequence. They are fodder for their dreams of power and influence and land at the expense of the Palestinians. And just let me give you a couple of examples of how Zionists have actually weakened and put out individual Jews for sacrifice, weakened the movement to protect Jews. In the 1930s, when the Nazis took over in Germany, Jews and leftists worldwide said this: okay, if you Nazis are going to boycott Jews inside of Germany, as they were, we are going to boycott you, Germany. And so worldwide, there was a movement to boycott Germany, never to buy anything that came from Germany, autos, buses, you name it. And you know what happened? Organized Zionists undermined that movement so that they made a special deal. It was called the transfer agreement. It actually had an agreement with the Nazis in exchange for the transfer of some Jews, influential Jews, to what was still Palestine. The Zionists who controlled the kibbutzes and the settlement process in Palestine were happy to buy Mercedes-Benz buses and cars. In other words, they broke the effort of people worldwide to try to punish Nazi Germany for their anti-Semitism. In the 1950s, similar things happened when, having already placed a certain number of settlers in Palestine and converted part of the territory to their Zionist state, they found they didn't have enough settlers. And so the Jews who were living in the Middle East were subject to a terrorist campaign. In Egypt, in Iraq, the Zionists and Mossad, the security intelligence agency of Israel, blew up synagogues, committed violence against Jews. Why? To scare them so that they would flee to Israel, to try to boost the numbers that were insufficient in this campaign of settlement. Crimes. These are crimes. They are crimes, and they went on right into the Al-Aqsa flood campaign. One of the things we're seeing more and more as facts come out about that is that, in fact, many of the people who were killed, the Jews who were killed in that single day of action, were killed by the Israeli military, without regard to the fact that those people were, in fact, citizens of Israel, many of them. So, for the better part of 100 years, Zionists have been active in essentially making Jews expendable, entirely expendable, in the interests of their broader campaign for power and land and influence in the world.
Liars and murderers!
They're liars and murderers, yes, exactly. We have been here a long time. It feels like a long time. We've been through the winter. We're now into full summer, obviously. And we'll be here longer still, we know that. But through all of this, we are winning small battles, the battle against city council. We've turned back another initiative by the Zionists to raise this false specter of anti-Semitism in Victoria. And we are learning more and more about the reality, about who actually threatens Jews in the world. And that is Zionism and Zionists, including their agents right out here. So let us go on this march in good spirits, looking for the people who are allied with us, who give us their hearts. Yes, who give us the V sign. Because that is constant. That is the thing that we are going to be doing. That is the influence that we are making every week. So, on the march. Thank you.